Today we're going to look at the Vivitar 200mm f3.5 prime lens. This is a lens that was marketed by Vivitar from the mid-60s to probably the early 1980s. It lost a little of its popularity because it was a prime lens, and zoom lenses were becoming a lot more popular during the 70s and early 80s. And this was a prime lens, so it did not offer what a zoom did. Prime lenses were considered to produce better images than zoom lenses, but zoom lenses were getting better and better, and amateur photographers, those that would be interested in a lens like this, tended to prefer the convenience of a zoom lens. So why should you purchase one of these or look to add one of these to your collection? Well, there's a few reasons. Prime lenses are still considered by some to produce better images than zoom, and this is a prime lens. Prime lenses have fewer moving parts in them, so they're less susceptible to light leaks, fungus, dust, other contaminants that may get in, and this is particularly important with vintage lenses like this one. Vivitar sold a lot of these, and they're very reasonably priced. You can get them for $25, $30 on eBay, thrift stores, estate sales, secondhand stores, all the places you find vintage lenses. Vivitar also produced them in a wide array of camera mounts. You could get them in Nikon F, Canon FD, Konica AR, Olympus OM, and like this one in M42 screw mount lenses. So there's a lot of them available, and there's a lot of configurations available. Now, not all photographers like the 200mm length. They thought it was maybe too short for good wildlife shots and maybe too long for good portrait shots. But I don't find it a difficult lens to use. If you're using it on a mirrorless application with a cropped sensor, this 200mm will act like a 300mm lens, so it's fine for wildlife shots. This lens has a minimum focusing distance of about 2 meters or 6 feet, so you can get close to your subject. And if you need to back off because you think 200 is a little long, you just use your feet as the zoom. You just back away or get closer. So I don't find it difficult to use. And as I said, it's a good lens and reasonably priced. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to determine who manufactured this lens for Vivitar. There are a couple of different versions of this 200-3.5 that Vivitar marketed. We're going to look at those, then we're going to take some pictures and let you decide if it's worth the $25 to $30 you need to invest in this lens. As we've noted in previous presentations, Vivitar did not manufacture any of the items that they sold. They were a private label brand that marketed products under their name from a wide array of manufacturers. We're going to try to determine which manufacturers made this lens for Vivitar, this 200mm f3.5. Now, Vivitar sold a full line of lenses, and it's generally believed that they used the serial number to identify the manufacturer of the lens. And while it's not been proven, it's the consensus that the first 2 digits in the serial number identify the manufacturer. Here's a list of common manufacturers that Vivitar used, along with the corresponding serial numbers. Now, I've seen 3 different versions of this 200mm f3.5, and 2 of the lenses are very similar. And those 2 appear to have been made by 2 different manufacturers, Kino or Kiron and Komine. And those are both well-respected manufacturers. Not a lot is known about Komine, but Kiron is a well-known manufacturer, and they also marketed lenses under their own name. The third lens is a little bit different. In the late 1960s, Tamron, another Japanese optical company, had introduced the Adaptol system. And this was a line of lenses that offered interchangeable mounts. And the theory was you could buy a lens, use it with different cameras, and all you had to do was change the mount adapter. And this way you could maybe save a little money by only buying one lens and buying numerous different mounts. And although this may seem a little odd today, Adaptol lenses were very popular, and Vivitar wanted a competitive offering. And the legend has it that they worked with Tokina, a Japanese optical firm, to develop an interchangeable mount system that they called the T4 system. Later, as it advanced, it became known as the TX system. And the 200 F3.5 was one of the lenses that offered this. And here's the Tokina version along with the interchangeable mount. Now, for the pictures I took, I used the Kiron version of this lens. As I said earlier, these lenses are reasonably priced, and I found this one at an estate sale for only $12. But I've seen them on eBay in thrift stores and secondhand stores, and they're frequently less than $25. I'll end this presentation with a few photos I've taken with the Vivitar 200mm f3.5. Thanks for watching.